Hello, this is Derek from One River Tea. What we're going to do today is look at the production of Luyangchun. Luyangchun is a specific type of green tea made in the cities of Yizheng and Yangzhou. These cities are in Jiangsu province, about 50-minute high-speed train from Nanjing, an hour and a half high-speed train from Shanghai, meaning this is prime green tea territory. In this region of Jiangsu, a lot of small cities will make their own variety of green tea, which usually is not available in the West, and usually not even very big outside of their city. It's kind of a local specialty product. What we're seeing here is the buying and selling of the fresh tea. The way that a lot of the tea fields are set up in this region is a loose cooperative. A lot of the households have tea gardens and have tea fields, but sometimes they don't have the manpower to totally harvest them. So while the owners are responsible for growing the tea and taking care of the plants, other people can come in and through an agreement, pick the tea and then sell the tea. In addition to not having enough manpower to harvest their entire fields, a lot of these farms don't have the equipment, the specialized machinery, in order to process the tea into a final product. And so what we're seeing here is a production facility. This is the cooperative's production household that's responsible for producing the tea for other farmers that don't have this type of machinery. As you can see here, all of these little baskets have a white name tag that has the name of the farm that grew the tea, the name of the household that produced the tea, and possibly the name of the picker. That way, when all the tea is made and said and done, the proper people can get the final result. This is also the pre-sorting phase. As you can see, this man is picking out all of the stems, some of the off leaves, any of the huangpian. Huangpian are last year's leaves. The pick right now is mingqian tea, so very just the buds, maybe one or two leaves. This has to be one of the oldest Kilgreen machines we have ever seen. It's, parts of it are held together by pieces of wood. This is the loose chain here, a little bit of rust here and there. But really it just hammers in the idea that these machines cost money. Money that a lot of tea farmers don't have to replace. While the machinery helps them produce more tea, it also lowers the final cost of the tea. And so it's kind of a catch-22 where, yeah, the machines can help you make tea faster, but if you made it by hand, you would get a higher price for it. The idea here in the Kilgreen machine is to raise the temperature of the tea above a certain degree, a certain temperature that stops the oxidization and fixes the tea at a certain point. So as you can see, this cylinder inside is heated up with gas and the tea is passed through it. We'll look at that a little more closely here in a second. So here the tea is slowly being passed through the Kilgreen machine, and I say slowly because the idea here is not to lower the temperature inside the cylinder too much by adding cold tea. Right now the tea needs to get up to a certain degrees in order to stop the oxidization process, to kill the enzymes responsible for it, and fix the tea. As you can see, the inside of the cylinder is ridged, pushing the tea further on. There's a fan down here to blow away any particulates, any broken leaves, and keep them out of the initial basket, collecting the Kilgreen tea. This is a very interesting aspect of producing Luyangchun. This is the rolling or shaping machine. And it looks very different from a lot of typical rolling machines made in the tea world, where a lot of the rolling machines actually roll the tea. This is placing the tea into heated troughs that are shaking the tea to resemble, more sword-like shapes, kind of needle shapes for the tea, instead of the twisted or even balled type of teas you would see in other rolling machines. What's happening here is these troughs are heated, and the tea is also, further being processed, further lowering its moisture content and getting closer to being dried. As you can see here, the the production master is constantly feeling the tea, seeing where the tea is in the process, adjusting what needs to be adjusted, redistributing the tea so that it's all evenly produced. There is still a fine degree of skill going on in here, even though you would not call it handmade tea. This is a very interesting aspect of that rolling and shaping that's going on. The tea leaves are acquiring their final shape, they're also losing a lot of their moisture content, and this is a very specific aspect of creating Luyangchun. These wooden dowels are placed into the heated troughs, and this is giving the tea its final shape. Also, what's occurring here is the cell walls are being broken down, and so that when the tea is put into the cup when it's being drunk, it immediately becomes very sweet, becomes slightly vegetal, and it brews very easily. Again, remember this is after the kilgreen has occurred, and so the tea is not being oxidized at all. It's only being shaped and being made more malleable. We call this man Master Feng. We call him that because he has been leading this production cooperative for about 30 years. And so he knows how to do all of this in his sleep. He knows what temperatures the tea should be just by feeling it. He knows all of these small details that you wouldn't quite consider go into making machine-made tea. And yet he is very, very skilled in it. After the tea has been shaped, it reduces its moisture content to something very, very low, and it's almost ready to be finished. It'll be cooled down and then passed through the final Hongganji, where it's dried out completely. As mentioned, all that's left is the Hongganji. This is the baking machine, the final baking. And the machine back there on the far right is the Hongganji, the baking machine. And it's drying out the tea to a point where it's ready to be stored and drunk. Thank you for watching. That was the whole process of how to make Luyangchun, from picking and all the way through processing. The actual processing time for about 1 pound of tea was over 1.5 hours, nearly 2 hours from the kilgreen all the way to the final baking. This is taking into account the time that it needs to cool down, and sometimes it gets passed through the shaping machine several times before the master approves that it's ready. So, that said, even for a machine-made tea, there is still a lot of time and a lot of human energy that goes into making a final product. So, thank you again for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about these machine-made green teas that maybe you've never heard of. Again, this is Derek from One River Tea. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.